Hey Canucks. Hi, I'm Michelle Sterling for Friends of Science Society. Are we going to be an energy superpower or what? Remember at the Calgary Stampede, Minister Hodgson was there promising that Calgary would soon be an energy superpower? What happened after? Nothing except we turned back into Greta Thunberg. That's right. Yeah, the big project announcement was that we're going to plant $125 million. We're going to plant 12 million trees. Yeah, it's part of the big, tree planting project. So sounds to me kind of like the old Team Canada thing, isn't going very far, right? Am I right? So if you're planting 12 million trees for $125 million, that's like, $10 a tree. Just so that you know, the forestry industry plants 600 million trees a year for $2 a tree. So that's $2 a tree versus one of these babies. You might as well go and dig a hole in the garden and just plant this, because at least it will retain its value. You know where to find it when you need it, and it's not going to die like a third of most trees do that are planted. So why are they doing this? Well, they say they want to rewild Alberta. Just so you know, we got lots of trees in Alberta, and there's still lots of farmers out there who are bulldozing trees and clearing land so they can plant food that you and I eat. And there is a section of land up in the Peace River that they're going to rewild with this project. And that area was cleared by pioneers, wasn't the best land for agriculture, so it kind of got stuck in between. For years, forestry companies have been asking to acquire that land, plant it, and harvest the trees. Now, just remember, they would do this without any cost to you. In fact, they'd be creating jobs, they would be creating industry, forestry industry, they would be creating products that they could sell, and they pay taxes when they do that. When they make money, they pay taxes. So it's a win-win-win. Whereas in this case, you are going to pay $10 a tree for planting in the middle of nowhere. And you may be wondering, well, why would they be planting there? Well, if you've ever seen our first video about Trudeau's tree planting plan, one of the problems in finding a space for 2 billion trees in Canada is where are you going to plant them? Like, there's only one area that's somewhat suitable, and that's what's called the White Zone. It's kind of a band of land that runs between the boreal forest and the plains all across Western Canada. Another project that they have in this same tree planting plan is they're going to plant 1 million trees on the Siksika Nation. Now, if you don't know anything about where it is, it's in southern Alberta, and it's right on the edge of what we call the Palliser Triangle. The Palliser Triangle was identified by Captain John Palliser in 1869 as a desertified area of the country not suitable for farming. So that's where they want to plant 1 million trees, in a place that's out on the bald prairie where conditions are suboptimal for tree planting, except, down by the river, up in the town site. Sure, if someone's going to care for those trees, some of them will survive. But, it's like when you look at Calgary, the city of Calgary, there's a big outcry about, climate justice, that half the city is not well treated to the east side, and the west side of the city is quite well treated. Well, first of all, the west side has been settled for much longer, and the trees are more mature, but mostly they're protected somewhat by the high foothills. But out on the prairie, out by the airport, no protection there. So you get a blast of sun, you get the winds coming off the Rockies, you get the Chinook winds in winter, which literally Chinook means snow eater. So after all the trees have gone to sleep for winter, the Chinook winds come flying in, warm up the temperature, sometimes like 20, 40 degrees in the space of a few hours. The trees start to unhibernate. They start to come to life sometimes if it's a Chinook for a week or so. And then it freezes up again and they die. So it's really a cruel place to plant trees. So you got to think about this. It's a $10 a tree planting project, your money, and it looks like, that trip that Greta Thunberg made to visit Justin Trudeau is going to keep costing us forever. Now, if you look at this or listen to this article by CBC, The House, about tree planting, you'll find out that it's probably creating more problems than it's solving, especially in terms of climate change, because tree planting has a lot of embodied emissions, and trees don't actually start taking up significant amounts of CO2 until a certain age. And so it looks like this is some kind of tree Ponzi, the 2 billion tree thing, that a lot of people in Canada are making money off of, and it's your tax dollars. It's your $10 a tree, when industry would do it for $2 all in and pay taxes. So think about it. Actually, Dr. Joseph Fournier has an excellent article on wildfires and forest management on his Substack. So I recommend that you have a look at that too. For Friends of Science Society, I'm Michelle Sterling, and I'm not Greta Thunberg. No, I'm not. I'm just not.